Our Live from Nashville series continues with J.D. Shelburne on the Music Universe podcast.
Well, we are still here at Nashville Coffees, talking with another guest we've had already, J.D. Shelburne. But this was a really great conversation. I was like, well, what more could we talk about? We've already talked about music. He sat here and he talked about really what it is as an independent artist, the social media, the offers he's gotten to do it in a phony way. It was really, really cool to talk to him in person. And I think this felt like a conversation you could only have with somebody sitting across from you, having delicious coffee, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we went a little more in depth that we don't get to do a lot of with the artists, and that's the business side of things. It fascinates us, but a lot of artists just obviously talk about their projects, touring, albums, songwriting, whatever. So it's really cool to get to hear what he won't do, and also what he will do, and it kind of gives you an insight into how things are run, more so than they allude to, you know.
We are here live at Nashville Coffees. This is such a pleasure to be here with J.D. Shelburne. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we know who you are. I have to look at the name when I say it, because otherwise I will say Shelburne, and that's not right.
A lot of people say it. They spell it wrong half the time. So, but,
really?
There's no O. I tell people.
Yeah. So
I know it's been a crazy year for everybody, but being that artists do touring for 90% of their income, what have you been doing to keep busy? I'm holding a Kentucky official visitor's guide from 2020. Did all this come this year?
I found out I was going to be on the cover of the tourism guide. I'm from Kentucky originally, and I play a lot up in the state, play festivals, fairs, you name it, and I do a lot of stuff for tourism department. And they contacted me last November about this time a year ago and said they wanted to feature me on the cover, and I was just like, that's amazing. And then January rolled around, and we went to the state capitol, and the governor had this whole, press conference, and it was awesome. And this happened, I think it was like January the 5th. And so, first of 2020, I had shows booked all year long anyway, but when this cover came out, man, I had emails every week for gigs, festivals, fairs. It was like overwhelming because of the interest on booking me for the shows because of this guide. Well, March 15th hit, and I started getting emails. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we're going to cancel our show, So, but in the meantime, man, I have had a decent year. I've played, I think, 80 shows. Usually I'm at 215, so I lost almost 100, which has been pretty brutal. But I've been able to earn income other ways. People still sponsoring me. I'm still able to play some shows. I had a decent year. I've sold more merch online than I've ever sold. Because I used to do Facebook Lives every night at the same time every night, and I would sell merch, and I was able to reach new fans that had never heard of me before because of Facebook Live, and so I've been able to try to wiggle ways around of just finding new ways to meet fans. People can tip us, and doing online shows, and so that's helped. But I have been able to play. I counted 80 shows on my list last week, and I was like, have I played 80 shows this year? And so that's been pretty nice, but at the same time, I'm ready for 2021, and hopefully the shows I lost, I'll get back.
Let me ask, doing all of those Facebook Lives and ramping up those merch sales, what has that taught you about your work ethic?
You definitely, I've learned that fans, if you do a Facebook Live like every night at the same time, like that's what keeps fans coming back. And like if there was ever a time where I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing a Facebook Live tonight, I'm tired, And I'm like, I'd have to just power through it because, fans, they expect it. I felt like they were expecting it, as the more I played. But, I've always had a hard work ethic. I played 200 shows a year the last 5 years. Sometimes I play 3 shows in a day. I'll make appearances at places, and I'll go do a show that night, and I'll get up the next day and drive 6 hours and play another show, come back and play O Red Sunday. And so hard work ethic is what I've been used to since I moved to Nashville, and I feel like that's the only way you can make leeway in this business and make money is touring. Yeah. You take every opportunity you can get. And that's kind of what I've been doing since I've played, and along the way I've built my success record and helped find new ways to get people to want to book you, play more shows, put out more new music, more videos, and you're just trying to find new ways to reach fans.
Yeah. And I think with social media, especially those Facebook Lives, I mean, it's just to constantly be doing that. And is each Facebook Live, do you treat it as another show, as a live in-person show?
You know, I've realized people like to hear you sing. You know, that's what you're on there for. But I feel like if you do something out of the ordinary that's more interesting, they keep the followers on longer. Like, for instance, the biggest Facebook Live audience I had this year was a video of me and my wife playing Uno. We literally set up my Facebook Live and I played my wife Uno at the kitchen table, and I had so many views. And I'm like, of all things, playing Uno. And like, I would do things like that to find different ways. Like, for one, I cleaned my garage out one night and found like 40 items that I thought were junk. And I got on Facebook Live and I was like, here's 40 items in my garage that I think is junk. And I had thousands of views. As opposed, I'd get on and play 4 songs that were Garth Brooks covers, and I have not even half the views. You know?
Isn't that weird how that works?
It is. It's like, you know, when you do Facebook Lives for so long, people love your music. I have a lot of loyal fans, but when you do stuff that like they don't normally see on a daily basis, like I decorated my Christmas tree a couple nights ago with fan club ornaments. People give me ornaments throughout the touring season, and people love that, you know. And like I've found just to find different ways to get out and market and find new ways where fans really hasn't seen that side of you before is more interesting.
Well, I mean, you got 26,000 Facebook fans.
30 now.
30.
Wow.
Yes.
6,000 Twitter followers and roughly 10 on Instagram. That's a big feat, especially for an independent artist.
Yeah, we've
it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Yeah, you know, there's just so many artists out there trying to do the same thing and flooding Facebook, and you know, you try to stay relevant and you try to find ways to reach people, and you know, I got a loyal fan base. That's one thing. You know, I've been doing this thing with CMT every month. We go in and do like a online workshop. We go in with a lot of other independent artists, and I had a lady speak up that was just another colleague and was like, you know, you can buy your likes, you can buy your Spotify streams, you can buy this, but you never can buy real fans. And that's so true. I've been building fans since 2008 when I moved to Nashville. So
what's the key? What is the key as somebody that doesn't have that backing? What's the key to getting those numbers up?
Just being humble and kind to people. I think, you know, you may not be the best singer or have the best records, but if you go out and play a show and you shake people's hands and tell them you appreciate them and take time with them, even if I'm out eating back in my hometown at a restaurant, and someone comes up wants a picture, and I'm eating my hamburger and fries, I put my hamburger down, take a picture. I just feel like being kind to people will get you really far in life, and I've tried to stay that way since I started.
Now, you said you moved here in 2008. I actually moved out then. When you first moved here, what was the atmosphere for you like? Did you have to do a day job, or did you instantly start performing?
I did a day job. I was making okay money touring. Nobody knew who I was in Nashville. I didn't know a soul down here. I actually knew one guy here that was from my hometown that he never helped me. We never did anything together. But so I was forced to kind of get on my own, you know, do it on my own. And so I did work a day job, but yeah, I did that not because I had to, because I was tired of sitting around during the day. I mean, I was playing at night, and I was, you know, getting up and just watching TV all day. I'm like, I could be making money, you know. And so I actually worked at a benefits, an insurance company doing like COBRA administration and healthcare. It was a very boring job, but it paid the bills, and I was able to live off that and then bank my music money. And so, you know, I heard an interview with Jay Leno years and years ago when he was still on late night TV, and said that he's worked 2 jobs his whole life. He's done the Late Show, and then he was doing comedy in Vegas on the weekends, and say he was living off his Late Show and banking his comedy money in a savings account. I'm like, man, that's the smartest thing I've ever heard. So why not have 2 incomes? I'm not ashamed to say I have a day job, you know. And so I did that for several years, and every day job I worked, the company closed. So I stopped working day jobs. But you know, it's a cutthroat world in insurance, and so. But I did that. It was fun, and made some, you know, people that were my clients end up being fans. So
Well,
that was
a great way to get started too.
yeah. It was kind of nice reward.
What have you learned about getting fans, retaining fans in this pandemic that once we're finally back to touring, that you're going to retain? Is there something you discovered that you're doing that you're going to keep doing once things return to whatever normal looks like on the other side of this?
I think just staying updated on socials. I think doing something, whether it's a post or a live video, something like, for instance, my wife and I, we just had our first son in September. He's 2 months old tomorrow. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I've been able, like, I put him on my socials every day. Picture, a gift someone has given us, something. And I feel like I've built more fans, giving them more of my inside life of what it's like, not just to be on the country music artist side of things, but what I do at home. And I feel like people have really grasped that they like that side, you know. And I just feel like just being positive on socials and staying current and posting stuff every day, whether it's twice, sometimes 3 times a day, mostly twice a day. Morning and night I'll find a post, but just staying in front of people's eyes, I feel like, you know, and doing these lives has helped. But I feel like when shows do come back, I'll meet so many fans that say, I saw you on Facebook Live during COVID, you know, or I became a fan because you showed a picture of your son. You know, I was very drawn to that. So I hope that works. I hope these shows come back, because the shows, I lost 80 shows. So I'm hoping I get 80 new bookings that are rescheduled for next year, but we'll see.
Yeah, and we probably talked about some of this the first time we had you on, but you know, CMT's premiered a couple videos. You said you've been working with them. Also, Great American Country, TNN. In the world of social media, where YouTube is the go-to for videos, how important is it, especially for an independent artist, to get played on these national networks?
It's huge. I mean, when I first moved to Nashville, CMT told me no for 3-4 years. And I guess either the quality of the videos wasn't that great, or maybe this wasn't the song or whatever, but I just kept plowing through and kept pushing, and hopefully one day they would add. And my last video went #1. So, you know, persistence always wins in this business. And I've been told a bunch. I've been told no a bunch, you know, and it seems like the people that tell me no, I end up getting that as the days go on, and as I just keep hustling and keep building fans. And, you know, when I first got on Great American Country, CMT didn't add my video, but GAC did. And I'm like, man, you know, I'm just grateful for whatever. And that was big news. I was able to watch it. I worked a day job, and they pretty much took a lunch break, and we all went down to the TVs in the cafeteria and watched my video. And then, you know, now CMT's playing my stuff. I mean, CMT has been the best platform, because everybody knows who CMT is. You know, when I post those numbers to my website, people, you know, just go crazy over it. And with the video I just put out in the summer during COVID, the 12 packet went #1. So, you know, to be able to go out and promote these shows in that video when the shows get back, I really think it's going to help.
Now, you said CMT told you no. Was this like you communicating with them directly? Or
yeah, actually, I reached out to the staff there when I first moved to town, and I don't think I ever heard back the first few times I tried. And then I ended up finding a person that works there on socials, and I just guessed his email.
Hey,
and,
nothing wrong with that.
And I was just like, you know, hey, here's a video. It's been my dream to be on CMT. I'd love to see if you can get an ad. Well, I didn't hear back, and I'd follow up. And then they write me back and say, hey, you know, just keep trying, man. That video really wasn't what we were looking for this go around. And so I just took that as constructive criticism, and just, you know, kept that in the back of my mind as the years and months went on. And so as I've performed, I started playing music in college, so I didn't grow up doing this, you know. And as I've grown as an artist, my songs have gotten better. My producing, who I worked with on records, have gotten better. And I just feel like the stuff I have now is the best stuff I've put out, and CMT's really loved it, and so I'm very thankful for them. But I always say to people that are trying to get in the business that you know, that don't know where to start, I'm like, I'm telling you right now, people are going to tell you no, and you got to be persistent with people.
Yeah.
And whether
he's taught me that.
yeah, you got to be persistent.
I might have asked you this the first time we asked this.
I remember talking to you guys the first time.
Was that?
It was in the middle of all of our
all of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But would you want a label to come in at this point, or are you so set up with it being independent and being a successful machine that you've created yourself that a label would just, for lack of a better term, F it up?
Yeah. Well, if Sony Nashville or Warner came to me tomorrow, I was like, look, man, you've created the ship. We'll give you X amount of dollars. We'll put you on a major tour. I would sign, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But I hear a lot of stories about labels too. I mean, that's been my ultimate goal, to get a deal. And I feel like these days, I've made a living the last 7 years playing music without a record deal, you know. But you know, I do see people with deals that get bigger and better shows. They get 15 times the more followers, you know. And it's just like, are they earning those? Are they getting those because they're getting on playlists because they're on a label? You know, there's always a catch to it. And you know, I read stuff online where people, you know, kind of get screwed in deals too. But you know, I guess you got to read between the fine lines sometimes. But if something came along that was worth giving, my merch to and what I've built thus far, and I felt like it was legit and it would take me to my next goals, then I would definitely consider it, giving it thought.
Yeah, totally.
Great. Yeah, that's one of those things. I forget who it was. Somebody joined Instagram, like it was her first ever Instagram post. That day, she had 2.5 million followers.
Jennifer Aniston.
How does that happen?
That's not real.
That's not real.
There's no
That's
way.
not real.
mean-
that is a media team going, we're going to do this, and we're going to launch it with a bunch of people. That's not
They
organic
don't tell
at
you
all.
what that costs.
Yeah, because nobody's probably constantly sitting looking for her account,
Yeah,
especially if they know she's not on there.
Yeah,
And it's
like-
suddenly 2.5 million. Yeah, that's insane.
Well, I mean, there's people. Like right now, there's people that I know that get millions of streams a week on their songs, and I'm like, how?
Yeah.
I mean, these days, you can buy streams. I see it online. I've had people approach me, companies, and it's just like, and when I've been submitted for labels, it's like, dude, you don't have enough streams. And I'm like, all right, I'm still making a good living touring. It's like, I don't want my career to be sold on Spotify streams, but it sure would be nice to have a lot more.
And to me, that seems like a little. It seems like a little rude on their part because streams equals money to them.
Exactly. Well, it's funny. I've sat in a talent agent before, and I've got a great track record of touring. I've got fans all over the country, and they literally have told me, "You don't have enough. We love your sound. You just don't have enough Spotify streams to do anything for us." And I'm like, got it walked out. I'm like, wow.
Isn't that?
It's crazy world.
It used to be, you don't have enough. You can't even sell so many tickets, and then it was CDs,
and now it's streams.
and now it's streams.
It's like it's unfair because literally right now I could pay $2,000 for streams, and they'd give me several 100,000 instantly. The numbers would go up overnight. And it's just like, how many of these streams are we hearing out there that are legit streams? The people like Aldine and the A and B cut artists, they're getting legit streams, I'm sure.
Right.
But artists that are in my category that are independent, trying to break through on a national scale, that are getting 10 million streams a week or a month, like I just don't, I don't see it unless you can get an XM, highway find or something, or on a New Boots list or something. But there's got to be gatekeepers to get. You have to pay money or something to get through.
Well, even your socials prove that fan base is there. So.
Well, my socials, I'm getting 100,000 hits a week on my socials, and so I'm really doing good myself. But like I said, I don't have a million streams.
Well, that's what we run up against with the site, right? We have really good impressions
Same.
by month, really good lifetime impressions, but our socials don't reflect that.
Which isn't something we're focused on
Right.
as a news organization.
Yeah.
So we've kind of branched out doing this, and then we've focused a little more on it. But like when we pitch that to people, they're like, well, your socials, like, well, we're looking at this side of it, not this side.
Right.
So it's a catch-22 no matter which way you go.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the artists who actually have the social following, they share it. Like Garth, without knowing it, he put up 2 screenshots of the Music Universe on his Inside Studio G. We
That's
got
awesome.
Garth on the brain today because it's release day.
Wait,
He
it
got his
must-
hat on. The hat's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I
He's
have
got a ton of these things.
a bunch of these. So he put 2 of the screenshots up, but he's like freaking out. Oh my God! Da, 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 da. So the stuff comes in organically from the artists who find it because the SEO in Google's very good, but the socials are the thing where you could either go that paid route and beef it up, or you could keep it organic. And we're like you. We totally get where you're coming
And
from.
we get a lot of shares from Facebook that, I shared, I tagged the artist,
That's what it's all
hashtag
about.
them.
Yeah.
So it's all organic, but when it comes to the business side of things, people don't look at that. They look at the followers.
Yeah.
They don't look at all the other stuff. I could show them the stats, and that won't impress them like the followers. So it's just a weird atmosphere in which we're in that everybody's focusing on.
I've done research before as an artist. I'll go out and look at an artist that's either in my category or maybe a step higher. Let's check out their streams, and I'll look at their streams, and they've got tons of streams, but they got 2 dates on their calendar,
Yeah.
2 tour dates, and I've got 100,000 streams, and I've got 215 tour dates, and it's just like something don't make sense. Either the artist doesn't want to work.
Well, it's what you focus on.
Yeah, right, I guess. And it's just like, it's just sometimes it's just a strange business. Some people, I've had people ask me before, how many dates are you getting because of your Facebook likes or whatever, and we'll talk about that. But I've never had anybody say, I'm booking you because you got 30,000 likes. It's usually I'm booking you because I've seen your show, or I've seen somebody on our staff's been to your show, and you got great music, and you have a solid fan base, and that's what we're looking for in our club.
Now, with all these social media numbers, have you joined the TikTok?
I am on TikTok, but I really don't use it. I mean, I put a handful of videos on there, but it's just like I'm so into my Facebook likes and my Instagram. It's just almost too much to keep up with.
Yeah, it is.
And Twitter too. I do all three.
There's just too many out there.
TikTok is just. I mean, then you're hearing, a month ago, it's like TikTok's gonna be banned from the U.S. and it's like, why should I even invest in it? To talk on that. So, and I don't know who to believe, but at the same time, it's definitely interesting.
Now, when you put them up, do you do any dancing?
No, but I have done some pretty funny stuff. It's very rarely any singing. It's just either my son or, I'm riding a four-wheeler back home on my parents' farm, or we had this like little haunted, there was just like this building on the back of our farm that's supposedly haunted for years, and I did like a TikTok video that like it was haunted. I heard a ghost, and just get people to believe stupid stuff. But it's good for that. But like I said, half the time I forget I have it until I get an email notification that says you have TikTok, reviews or whatever. So.
Well, we're sitting here and there's notifications pouring in on your phone as we're sitting here. So you're right. It keeps working, and we love it because the first time we talked to you about music and being an independent artist, but this time we got to talking about the actual work of it, the social media and all of that stuff. So
thank you guys for support.
Always great to speak with you.
Yeah, you too as well, man.
Talking with JD was great. Super nice guy too, and you'll see pictures with us on social media. But we had him earlier when we did the mist of all of our interviews, and super nice guy, and best of luck to him, and hopefully he'll find that right label.
I'm sure he will. All right, for the Music Universe podcast from Nashville Coffees, I'm Matt.
And I'm Buddy. Thanks for listening. Keep checking out themusicuniverse.com for the latest news and release info, and check us out weekly on YouTube for our series and more. Take care.